Morning, it's Mrs. Ludd here for another maths lesson. I'm going to do our arithmetic questions first, starting with your bronze. We're doing fours and eights for those higher numbers. They're usually a little bit trickier than the lower numbers, but really good practice for you. Adding 9s, 19s, 29s, 39. Don't forget to add the nearest 10 and then take away 1. So you can add for 9 you'd add 10, take away 1. For 19 you could add 20, take away 1, and so on. 39 you can add 40 and take away 1. See if that works out to be more efficient for you. And then we've got some multiplication number sentences that we're going to change the order on the sentences so that we get those division facts too. So have a go at those, pause the video and then be ready for your answers. Okay, I'm ready to do the answers. I'll put those up for you and you can check these off. Tick them off if you've got them right. Give yourself a nice smiley face at the end of it. If you've got lovely lots, that you can give yourself a thumbs up for, and be like a superhero star, like the little gif there. So today we're going to be solving more word problems. This time using division. We used a little bit of multiplication and division yesterday. They were tricky. Well done if you've got any of that done and right. Don't worry too much. Those multi-step ones we will save for another time. We'll do those sort of later on in the academic year. So they might be a little bit easier to do back in class. Okay, so we've got Danny and her oats. She's going to make some flapjacks. She wants to make 3 for her friends. She needs 54 for each flapjack. What's the mass of the what she needs? That's supposed to say what's the mass of the oats she needs. And then you've got a little bar model here and a grid to work out your answer. So I'm going to leave you with that. Pause the video and then be ready to check your answer. So have a go. Okay, so we've got 5 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. So we can use our knowledge of place value and do 3 times 5 lots of 10 is 15 lots of 10, which is 150. 3 times 4 is 12. Add those two, so recombining those numbers, add them together is 162. You've just got 162 on its own, it's not right. You need to get that unit of measure in there. It's really important. It's got to work for the question that you're being asked. So this is the core one today. This is a true or false question. Teddy's weighing, it says that Teddy weighs more than 8 joules. So if you think he does weigh more than 8 joules, then you are going to say that that is true. If you don't think he does, it's false. Okay, so have a little look at that and choose what you think is the right answer. And I'm going to show you that answer now. It's true because he is hanging down on that scale's gone. Because he's heavy, he's pulling that scale down. There's 8 joules on the other side. If you counted those, well done. And you've got the right answer. So here we've got Poseidon, and he's left one of his tridents with Mrs. Ludlow. Oh yes, that lovely trident. And he's left it at my house, and he's got 4 of them, although he's only left the one here. He must have quite a lot of them, I reckon. And he's got a total mass of 54 kilograms, which they are huge, absolutely massive tridents if they're totaling 52 kilograms. So what is the mass of one of these tridents? So what you're going to do is you're going to work out, if you can talk about it, think, how can I solve this? What strategies can you use? What have we been doing this week? What are the different ways that we can work out this answer? What might you use? What system and strategy might you use? So pause the video, have a chat out loud on your own. If you haven't got anybody with you, doesn't matter, just get that vocabulary and that maths understanding out there. And brilliant. So we are going to do the learning from this together. So we're going to have a look at this. One of the strategies that's really useful for word problems is, although we've got the rucksack method of reading it, checking it and working it out, that's sort of an overarching way of doing it, but a really good system or strategy is to use bar models. So even Poseidon's cottoned onto that. So we've got 4 tridents. So if we split our bar into 4 sections, we know that the whole of those, the 4 of those tridents together totals 52 kilograms. So that's what we need to do. We can put the little brackets down to say that the whole of that is 52 kilograms. And we're going to split up 52 kilograms divided by 4. And then we're going to do that on a number line. Going to use some chunking. He's on it, see? He's a great god. Using chunking on a number line to divide. So our first step, because we know that 4 lots of 10 or 10 lots of 4 is 40, we know that we can take that big chunk of 10 lots of 4 away from this already sort of, organising those little groups of 4. Okay, so if you imagine you've got blocks, you would have 10 little groups of 4 blocks, and that gives you that that understanding that you've only got a small little bit left then to manipulate and to group into 4s. Okay, so we'll start on number line with a 0. We'll take one chunk of 4 times 10 or 10 times 4, 10 lots of 4 to do 40. So it takes our number lines of 40. We're going to keep going until we reach 52. So we've got another group of 4, and that means that we've done 44. Another group of 4, that means we've used up 48, and then the last group of 4 means that we've used up the whole of it, 52. We've got nothing left over. So now we're going to count those groups. Okay, we've got 10 groups of 4. Then we've got another one group of 4, another one group of 4, another group of 4. So altogether that is 10, add the 1, add the 1, add the 1. So it's 13 groups of 4 that you've put out. Okay. So we've got 13 steps. So each one of those steps, not each one of those steps, those 13 groups then can fit into your bar model. And then your answer is 13 kilograms. Now you can check this by inverse. If you actually now add up 13, add 13, add 13, add 13, you should come back to 52. Okay, so that's using 4 times 13 to check that you've got that right. Okay, really good strategy. Using the inverse to check your answers. You might want to try that today, and if you show that, I'm going to be very impressed. Okay, so one trident is 13 kilograms. So now we've got guided practice. You can copy this one down. We've got Aries, dragon, has laid 8 eggs, weighing 120 kilograms altogether. What is the mass of an egg? And that says an egg, and an isn't a number, but it's the word for one. If it's an egg or a something, it's known as one thing. Okay, so the mass of 1, so we've got this whole bar representing 120 kilograms. So this whole section is 120 kilograms. And now I've got to try and divide that into the 8 sections. So each one of these is like a little egg, or a big egg, because they're 120 kilograms. They're huge. These gods do go in for big things. So do dragons. Dragons' eggs, they're huge. So 120 kilograms divided into 8 sections. Okay, that's our sum to start with. So our first step, can it be 10 times 8? Can we get 10 lots of 8 out of that number? We can, because 10 lots of 8 is 80. So our first jump on our number line can be 80, which is 10 times 8. Takes us straight up to 80, so we don't have to do all those jumps. It saves us doing tons, doesn't it? Lovely shortcut. Next one, adding 8, which is 1 lot of 8 to take us to 88. Next one takes us to 96. We're still under this. Next one takes us to 104. We've still got a couple to go, I think. Next one, 112, just making sure that you're jumping up in 8. So if you look at the number 0, 8, 6, 4, 2, and then the next one should be a 0. Spot those patterns, really useful for patterns on this, is 120. So now what we're going to do, we're now going to count those groups. So we've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 steps. So 15 lots of 8 equals 120. So 15, so if we do the inverse for this, we go 15 times 8 is 120. So it can show you how that manipulation of number can really help. Okay, so each one of these is worth 15. If you want to add those all back together again, or times 15 by 8 on a grid, then you're going to double check it. Each one of these eggs is worth 15 kilograms. So here we go, we've got our steps to success. Be very careful that you don't get screeched at by the dragon that's at the end of them. Read the question carefully, think about that rucksack. I always try and read my sentences, my number sentences twice. It's just a habit that I really like doing. Draw your bar model and your number sentence on there. If that highest number is greater, bigger than 10 lots of that divisor, then you can make your first jump of 10 lots. Then you can carry on in steps of 1 lot of the divisor, 1 times the divisor, until you reach that higher number. So then you can circle your number of jumps or steps. Don't forget that first one could be 10. And then you're going to fill in your number sentence with that correct unit of measure in kilograms or grams today, because that is they are the measurement units for mass. Okay. Finally, here are your questions. That little dragon's out to get us, isn't it? I love the way the tail's like flicking round and looks quite vicious. He's sort of half bird, I think, and he's got claws and he's got like bat wings and a very weird sort of almost like a crocodile tail. He could be a beast from our Hercules labour, couldn't he? The 13th labour. So we're going to read and solve the problems. We've got Hercules moving rocks. Here he is. You can just about see him. We've got some offerings being left at the temple. We've got Cerberus, and he's being fed with a load of meat. And we've got these golden apples that Hercules stole from, or got Atlas to steal from Hesperides. Okay, so they're all simple questions, apart from this last one, which is finding the mass of the apples that he keeps and finding the total mass of the 3 nymphs. So you're going to have to find out what one would be. Okay, so dividing it, and then you can use that to find out what the equivalent for 3 of them would be. So have a look at that. It's the only one with 2 steps on it. Okay, I hope that goes really well today and that you have a successful lesson. That's it from me. Bye for now.